swing, para. Hey, swing, para. Kennedy, swing, para.
Welcome, baseball fans, to the Roundup. Today is a special edition. We're talking about the AL wildcard race. But before we get into that, please do not forget to smash that like button. Not only that, I want to hear those fingers hitting those keyboards. I want comments coming in. Am I on base? Am I off base? Am I crazy to think the Jays still have a chance? And then ultimately, we want you to subscribe to Offside and Out of Bounds. Why? Because we're a great channel about local sports, but not just local sports, North American sports. Yeah, we do that too. Not just North American sports, but worldwide sports. We're all about sports. We are in Toronto. We love our hometown teams, but we're not homers. We love to talk sports. Thank you. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get started with the AL wildcard. We're going to run down the standings. We're going to run through the next week. Each of these teams is going to go through. Then we're going to get into a little bit more of the Jays specifics. Enjoy.
Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
Okay, so let's start it off with the updated wildcard standings. Yankees have that first wildcard at 76 and 56. They are 2 games up on Boston, 6 and 4 in their last 10, and they are on a nice little 4-game losing streak. The Boston Red Sox are holding down that last wildcard at 75 and 59, 5 and 5 in their last 10, and they're on a nice little 3-game losing streak. Next in the rear is the Oakland Athletics, 73 and 59, 1 game back of Boston, 4 and 6 in their last 10, and they're on a nice little 3-game win streak. The Seattle Mariners, the Cardiac Kids, 71 and 62, 3.5 games back of Boston, 5 and 5 in their last 10, and they're on a nice little 1-game winning streak. The Toronto Blue Jays, 69 and 62, 4.5 games back of Boston for the final wildcard spot, 5 and 5 in their last 10, and they dropped a heartbreaker to Baltimore. 1-game losing streak. And coming in at the first stop of this North American wildcard tour is the New York Yankees. The Yankees hit their magic number of 4 games, and they have 1 game left in the series against the Angels, which they are on the verge of being swept. They do have Garrett Cole on the mound tonight going up against Pahaki Naughton, who is only given up 1 earned run in 2 games in August. After that, they've got a 3-game series against Baltimore at home and follow that up with a 4-game homestand against the Blue Jays. In these next 8 games, they have the potential to solidify the wild card or give up some precious ground. If they lose tonight against the Angels, they are limping home losers of 5 straight, but they will get a shot of streak medicine in the arm with the Orioles coming to Yankee Stadium. But the pitchers they are going to run out, Cortez, Montgomery, and Kluber, could send this team into a late-season tailspin, furthering that streak. After a 19-game losing streak, the Orioles are coming to life a bit, and their starting pitching is a little more serviceable. They are looking to wear that spoiler tag with pride for the next 30 games, so they are all loosey-goosey. Let's travel up the road to Boston. The Red Sox still have 2 games left in a 4-game series against the Tampa Bay Rays, and things do not get easier with Cleveland coming to town for 3 games, and then the Rays back in Fenway for another 3. Now, the Red Sox did exceed their magic number of 3 wins in August with 5 wins to end the month. The Red Sox have not fared well against the Rays this year, and Cleveland is a team that has given them some trouble. It is absolutely must-win season for the Red Sox if they have any aspirations of hosting that wildcard game, or if they're feeling in a bit of a generous mood and allowing Oakland to take over that final spot from them. The Rays have a comfortable lead atop the AL East at 8 games, and Cleveland is a team on the outside of the wildcard race, 7.5 games back. The Red Sox have recently had to place Hirokazu Sawamura, Josh Taylor, Matt Barnes, Martin Perez, Xander Bogaerts, Christian Arroyo, and Kike Hernandez onto the COVID-19 list. These are all day-to-day transactions at the moment. However, if this does tend to exceed that 5 to 7 day forced stoppage for these players, this could hurt them in the most inopportune time, as they are a very heavy series on the calendar right now. Next up, we're on a plane to the West Coast, to the Bay Area. Not the nice part, but the bad part. The Oakland Athletics. The A's sit one game back of Boston and are on a mini 3-game win streak. They have 2 more games against the Tigers, and they are on the road to Toronto and come back home to host the White Sox for another 3 games. The A's failed to meet the magic number of 4 wins to end August, falling short by 1. The Tigers might be a layup for the A's, but then heading on to Toronto, a team that seems to have its offense back a little bit, it is a tough test, and there is the potential that they are looking ahead towards that White Sox series in order to conclude that 8-day road trip. The Thursday game in Detroit is a getaway day, so it's an early start, and that is going to give them the ability to set the tone for the next 3 against Toronto. If they can get a nice team win, head in Toronto on a high, it may give them the chutzpah that they need to keep rolling. Now, Toronto is in the thick of the race, and they will be looking to fire on all cylinders. The A's will face Manoah, Ray, and Berrios, or however you want to pronounce it. 2 of those just happen to be the arms that are carrying this team at the moment in Manoah and Ray. Now, there is a chance that Boston falters and the A's just need to be poised to strike. Now let's head up the coast a little bit to the grayest city in the entire country of the United States of America, Seattle. The Mariners are sitting 3.5 back. Now they have been the cardiac kids at home with these late game heroics and the clutch hitting. The Mariners still have 1 game against the Astros. They will then head to Arizona for 3 against the team that is looking to play spoiler in the NL West, in the Arizona Diamondbacks, and then they head off to Houston for a 3-game clash with the AL West division leaders. The Mariners fell short of their magic number of 6 wins, only notching 4 wins for the remainder of August. The Mariners have been comfortable at home with all these late-game heroics, but the road is a different story. Seattle is 32-33 on the road. They have some ground to make up, but after this week, the rest of the schedule looks pretty monumental. Time to grab your passports. We're on our way to Toronto. The Jays are sitting 4.5 games back of Boston for the final wildcard spot. They have the last game of the series against the Orioles tonight, with Steven Matz putting his polished 10-7 record against Matt Harvey, who's had a bit of a tough year. After the Oakland A's land in town for 3, and the pitching matchup suggests an advantage for the Jays this series. After that, they head to New York to take on the heated and hated rivals, the New York Yankees. The Jays fell short of their magic number of 8, gaining 5 wins of the required 8 to make things interesting at the end of August. The Jays will have to take care of business against Oakland and have the pitching and bats primed for the weekend set with the A's. Then heading into Yankee Stadium, that short porch is definitely going to help those righties as long as they take advantage of the winds that will most likely be swirling in the city that never sleeps. If the Jays can take advantage of Baltimore, take 2 or 3 from the A's, 3 or 4, or split the series with the Yankees, they will be in much better shape as long as they're doing what they need to be doing, which is winning and not losing. The Jays will be cheering on Houston, Cleveland, and the White Sox in the hopes that some damage gets done to Boston, Seattle, and Oakland. And again, they're going to have to handle their business, but they could be a game or 2 out of the wild card should everything play out to their benefit. Fellow Jays fans, it's that time of year where we can get a little greedy. Let's get to it. Let's start off with the Yankees. We're going to give them the loss for tonight against the Angels. They're going to take 2 or 3 from Baltimore. And then they're going to split the series with the Jays, giving them a total of 4 wins. Next up, we've got the Boston Red Sox. Let's say that they lose the next 2 to the Tampa Bay Rays. They only win 1 in Cleveland, and they only win 1 in Tampa, leaving them with 2 wins. On to Oakland. They'll take the next 2 against Detroit. They'll take 1 of 3 from the Jays and 1 of 3 from the White Sox, leaving them with 4 wins. Next up, the Mariners. They're going to lose to Houston tonight. They'll take 1 of 3 from Arizona, and they will take 1 of 3 from Houston, leaving them with 2 wins. And last but not least, the Blue Jays. They will beat Baltimore tonight. They'll take 2 or 3 from Oakland and 2 of 4 from the Yankees for a total of 5 wins. And now we're on to the Punxsutawney Phil prognosticated updated standings for the AL wildcard. The Yankees are still in that first position, 3 up on the Oakland Athletics, followed by Boston, who is a game back of Oakland. The Jays have closed to 2.5 back of Oakland, and rounding out the Seattle Mariners at 3.5 games back. How's that for a little bit of greed, Jays fans? And here's a quick update on some roster moves that the Jays have made in the last week. They picked up outfielder Gregory Polanco. They signed him to a minor league deal after being released by the Pirates. Polanco was a very high-end prospect in baseball in 2014. He's had a good couple of years, but he just hasn't been able to put everything together. So now at 29, there is still some potential in this guy, and perhaps the Jays are going to take a look at him in the minors for the rest of the year to see if they might be able to fix a few of the mechanical issues and get some maximum return out of him. They did release right-handed pitcher Elvis Luciano 9 days ago, re-signing him, clearing up his 40-man roster spot by keeping him within the organization. He has had a decent year in 34 and a third innings, sporting a 3.41 ERA. They claimed center fielder Gerard Dyson off waivers from Kansas City and activated him on the 29th. He's more likely going to be one of those in-the-chamber types should Springer falter again and just not be able to stay healthy. He hasn't done much in terms of hitting, but he is a threat on base. He did swipe 2 bags against the Orioles. He is going to be a nice late-inning addition to put on second base, to steal third, to put the Jays in a better position for those extra inning games. And the one that kind of caught everyone off surprise was DFAing of Brad Hand. It was a surprise to me, as we did give up a good catching prospect for Hand. And to just DFA him, you may as well not have done the deal at all. Now, it's been a tough year for Hand. Yeah, things haven't gone the way he's wanted to. But I am going to slap the wrist and put the excruciating blame on Charlie Montoyo's mismanagement of this asset. Brad Hand is not a 6th inning mop-up guy. He is an 8th inning, 9th inning specialist. And the way pitchers are, if you know them, you take them out of their comfort zone, ask them to do something that they don't normally do, and then you get upset because they aren't going to perform the way you want them to. Bad move, Charlie. You've been caught mismanaging this bullpen a lot this year. Next up is the injury report. On the 10-day deal, or as I like to call it, we have no clear idea of what's actually going on. Santiago Espinal was hit with a right hip flexor, and they are unsure of his status right now. He is TBD. Maybe we'll hear something in a week exactly what's going on. Kevin Biggio, this injury-plagued season continues, and he's now nursing a UCL sprain. They shut down his drills for a week, and there is a chance that they might just shut him down for the rest of the year so that he can just rehab all of these injuries and then get ready and get 100% for next year. Now, the importance of Kevin Biggio. If Simeon doesn't re-sign, who are they going to put there? Kevin Biggio. So his health and long-term outlook are magnified 1,000 times if Simeon does not re-sign. Stripling is dealing with a mild oblique strain and should be back in the near future. However, his return is still listed as TBD. He will most likely join the bullpen when he does return, and a move I'm sure he's not too interested in taking. Anthony Castro is dealing with an ulnar nerve irritation, something that has been nagging him since the middle of the season, which could be the reason why his ERA blew up to 5.31. He's still a TBD at this point, so it's more likely than not he's going to get shut down. On the 60-day DL, or as I like to call it at this time of year, shut her down. Julian Merriweather was scheduled to throw a couple of days ago, and they're hoping he can be back as early September. But it is early September, and their TBD is now hopefully by the end of the year. Like I said, shut her down. Let him slow the progression, make sure those secondary pitches are snapping, and get him ready for spring training. AJ Cole is expected back September, but with the way the 40-man roster is working out at this time, shut her down. There is only a month left in the season, and AAA season is over shortly, so either toss him down there just to get a few reps going for the rest of the year. Other than that, shut her down. David Phelps is still done for the year, shut her down, and Kirby Yates, who we have missed all year, is still out for the year, and shut her down. It's that time of year where a month could rack up some hardware for some players on the Jays, so let's take a look at what might just happen. Triple Crown potential? No. Yes. Vlad is 6 RBI behind Jose Abreu of the White Sox, who is currently sitting at 102 RBI. Vlad is 3 home runs behind Shohei Ohtani of the Angels at 42. Vlad is 2 percentage points behind Michael Bradley of the Houston Astros, who is currently hitting at 315. A strong September with a bunch of RBIs, a bunch of home runs, better at-bats. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. could be crowned with a triple crown. Crowned with a crown. Vlad's very close. If he has a strong September, there is a huge opportunity here for him to get the Triple Crown. Because the MVP, that's going to be a tough one. With the season of Shohei Ohtani has put on, the fact that on the bump, he is 8-1 with a 3 ERA. But couple that into the fact that he joined not super elite, but an elite 40-20 club. Over 40 home runs, 20 stolen bases. To me, it's almost just a matter of time on when they're just going to announce the fact that he has won the MVP. The Cy Young looks to be a 3-horse race between Garrett Cole, Lance Lynn, and Robbie Ray. Cole is 13-6 with a 2.80 ERA, 200 strikeouts, a WHIP of .99 in 148 innings pitched. Lynn is 10-4 with a 2.59 ERA, 152 strikeouts, a 1.08 WHIP in 135 and 2/3 innings pitched. Robbie Ray is 10-5 with a 2.71 ERA, 202 strikeouts, a WHIP of 101 in 159 innings pitched. Lance Lynn leads the AL in ERA. Ray is second. Cole is third. Ray leads the AL in strikeouts. Cole is second, and Lynn is fair down that list. Cole leads the AL in WHIP. Ray is second, and Lynn is fourth. Innings pitched, Robbie Ray is second behind only Zach Greinke. Cole is 27th, and Lynn is 41st in the league. So there is a good, definite case that Robbie Ray could be here and crown Cy Young champ of the AL. The fact that Garrett Cole and Lance Lynn are both on winning teams may be a deciding factor that they go with one of them. Cole is also an admitted user of pitching grip aids, so his case may already be sealed. And thank you very much for joining us here for the AL Wildcard Roundup. It's been a pleasure. We hope that our prognostications are accurate and on point and just get better for the Jays. But again, thank you for joining us here at Offside and Out of Bounds. I am Junior. Please do not forget to smash that like button. Let me hear those comments coming in quick. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We will see you next week to look at the next week in the AL Wildcard.